Welcome to Konoha Crush, a clandestine effort to exhaustively research and document events occurring in and around the village hidden in the leaves. I'm Ruby.
I'm Gwen. Hey.
Hi! We're here. We're doing the podcast again. It's been like a bit since I said I'm Ruby on the podcast, but like we're here again. It's classic. It's a classic feeling.
Yeah, fuck yeah. We're here. It's Ruby and Gwen, the classic duo.
Yeah, the original duo, and also the only duo that's on this podcast. But you know, it's the original combination of names. It's back again.
The original combination of genders.
Yeah, it never went out of style. Lesbians never went out of style.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Hmm?
That's true.
No, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying, like, I don't know how original it is, though, right? Because since the beginning of the podcast, I have picked up new pronouns.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, you know. It's just like, it's like when they say they're bringing back the original, but, like, they still change the recipe. So it's just
and like even if the recipe is like mostly the same, you're still a different person by the time you're tasting it. So it's hard to know if it's really the same at all.
Yeah.
How have you been this week, Gwen? Have you been up to anything? We've really gotten off on this shit, but like, you know, we're only covering 2 episodes this week. Did that allow you to like get up to some shit you wouldn't have gotten up to otherwise?
Yeah, it did. And what I've been doing is writing.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
That's harder to talk about in the podcast than like watching some shit.
Right? Besides that, fuck, I don't know. Is there anything to talk about? There's the Guilty Gear character.
Yeah, everybody loves the Guilty Gear character, Bridget.
Everybody loves Bridget.
She's everyone's daughter now.
Yeah. What about you? You been up to anything?
Not really. Like this last week, I was like, you know, since I'm only watching 2 episodes this week, maybe I should like put in a little extra effort to try and have shit to talk about in this first segment. Like, oh, maybe I'll like finally finish Berserk because I bet I could just kind of like power through the rest of that if I was like focused on doing it. Or, like, maybe I should like watch a thing that I've been like meaning to watch, like a 12 episode thing or something. But like I didn't really get around to doing that, and like that's probably fine. I don't know. Like, okay, it was kind of in a weird place this last week. I didn't really get around to like doing a ton of shit that I would have wanted to. But like, you know, I'm feeling a bit better now. And maybe I learned a valuable lesson about like, maybe sometimes when you have a break, you can just like have a bit of a break and not do as much work as opposed to finding new work for yourself. I didn't actually learn that. I'm gonna like keep trying to do that. I'm gonna like keep having that like poison in my brain. But
oh yeah, me too. I immediately took this respite to do more work.
Yeah, I intended to. I just didn't succeed.
Right.
In part because I was like editing podcasts and had like a bunch of ReZero to like read and watch, and in part because I was like, I don't know, just wasn't feeling it.
Totally fair.
I mean, other than like our like Licorice Recoil check where we like go like, hey, I had a blast watching the latest episode of that show with you. I don't really know if there's anything else to touch on here before we get into Naruto.
Right. Do you want to just get into Naruto then?
Yeah, let's just like get into it. Let's just fucking like get in and out real quick. Let's make this a breezy one.
Hell yeah! All right. Episode 87. Keep on training. Pop goes the water balloon. Naruto gets the water in the water balloon to spin, so he's off to a confident start. Until it's hours later, and the water in the balloon is still only spinning. Jiraiya checks which way his hair is growing to help Naruto figure out which way he should spin the water. Naruto vows to learn the jutsu in 3 days. Jiraiya tells him it took the 4th Hokage years to perfect it, and that bursting the water balloon is only the very first step. Naruto keeps training for about a week with no progress, until he sees the Incat batting a balloon around until it pops. This gives him what he needs to figure out how to pop the balloon. Big stretch.
Big stretch, absolutely. You fucking caught me in the act.
Yeah, I could hear it through the silence.
It's just like, it's like a Pavlovian response. You read an episode summary, I do a stretch. But like only after you finish.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta pay attention. What if I say something that's different from the script I wrote?
Yeah, what if you say something that reveals that you actually watched like a different version of these episodes from like a different universe where different shit happened? That'd be scary.
That'd be pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, it would be pretty cool also. Like, we get to talk, like, it would make it for a pretty different podcast. We watch, like, different versions of Naruto, somehow. But, like...
I'm up for it.
we could try it.
I just start writing the recaps, like, what I wish happened.
Oh my god. That's like a lot of extra work for yourself. You have to like completely rewrite Naruto over the course of like 5 years. That's like less than half the time that it took Masashi Kishimoto to write Naruto.
No, it's based solely on whim.
On Win?
Whim? My whims?
Oh, on your whims? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not a bad way to do it. Right. Okay. The fucking anime we watch, the episodes, the podcast that we make every week.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Hey, no rush to get on topic.
I guess
This is a breezy
I'd like
one.
to try.
All right. Yeah. So what?
Right. So this is a training sequence, pair of episodes, and Jiraiya's approach for the most part is very much like, yeah, okay, kid, you figure it out, right? Like I've showed you the thing to do, and you just gotta get there. Which is like, I understand the basic idea of like, okay, yeah, it's important that you like know like the principles behind like the chakra control shit you're doing to like learn this technique, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also I feel like it keeps running up against a problem where like, because ninja education is kind of fucked, Naruto keeps running into things where like it seems like he doesn't actually know these like basic stepping stones to like the process of like learning the greater thing here.
Yeah.
Like this would not be a bad way to try and train somebody if you could like take for granted that they had learned anything in ninja school. But like I just don't think you get that. And like we get to that like basically immediately in this episode where like Naruto spends the whole afternoon like just kind of like not getting anywhere, and Jiraiya's like, hey, wait a second, how are you trying to spin your chakra?
Right. I feel like unless it like only comes up in this one jutsu, and in no way in any other like application of chakra or like ninjutsu in general, I think it should be pretty clear to everyone which way their chakra is supposed to spin.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not sure if this ever comes up again at all. Like, I don't think like we know which way everybody's chakra spins in Naruto because it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Outside of spinning your chakra to do the Rasengan, which is, not something everybody learns how to do in Naruto. The like little like hurdle Naruto has to like clear here of like, okay, you got to make your chakra spin the right way is like such a weird thing because like we get this big like exposition scene from Dry here where he's like talking about how like the chakra network in your body like spins in a certain direction and it's like different for different people, but like it doesn't mean anything really.
Right.
Like there's no. I don't think you can do anything thematically about like if your chakra like rotates left or right through your body. And I certainly don't think they do anything thematically with that, right? And so it's just kind of like, well, here's an extra detail about like how chakra works that exists to be like a hurdle for the sake of there being like one extra problem that Naruto has to like overcome here. But like it's not even like a big thing. It's just like he gets told like, hey, you should try spinning your chakra the other way. And he's like, okay. And then he does that. It's weird. It's a weird beat.
It is a weird beat. It's also weird because of what we learn about like the next thing that Naruto has to figure out.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
He gets it spinning the right way, and then like the thing that he figures out a little bit later is that like, oh well, actually the water needs to be spinning in lots of directions.
Yeah.
In order for the balloon to pop.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So like maybe it's just like kind of like it's like a weird misdirect from Dry to be like actually try spinning in the other direction, or like maybe he's like trying to do like some sort of like subtle hint giving that is just going over Naruto's head completely because he like explained it in like a really roundabout like here's how your fucking chakra works inside your body, and like he's fucking checked out. Yeah. And the other like, oh, I'll spin it the other direction.
Like the thing he learns from the cat is like the cat batting it back and forth, so like there's like turbulence in the water that makes it like pop.
Mm-hmm.
So this, you have to spin it the direction that your body is like naturally more acclimated to spinning is just wrong when it comes to actually popping the balloon.
Yeah, but it's lore.
It sure is.
I mean, anyway, Naruto's like making no fucking progress on this, even after like like he's like spinning the water in the balloon like a little bit faster, but he's not really getting any closer to popping it.
Mm-hmm.
And Jiraiya like starts talking to him about how the Rasengan is like a great jutsu for him because it doesn't require like any like hand signs or like anything more complicated than just like having chakra and like making it do the thing it needs to do to make the Rasengan.
Mm-hmm. Like, Naruto can do hand signs. Like, it's never been a thing that Naruto was just like, oh, I can't do these hand signs right.
Right. But like maybe he would have difficulty if it was like longer strings of hand signs or something. We don't know. Like I don't think he ever gets that complicated with like the amount of hand signs he does. But like like Jiraiya like breathes stuff. He's like, yeah, this YouTube's great for you, who's an idiot. Like you could just fucking can fucking make the basics really good. You got this. Which I think like suggests a sort of interesting thing about like the Rasengan and like the fourth Hokage who developed it that I don't think really comes to bear. Mm-hmm. But like I think that like the idea of like, oh, like why did this guy who was renowned as like one of the strongest ninjas ever like try and develop this technique that like doesn't rely on anything like more complicated than like the fundamentals? Like I feel like there's a way in which like this could be used to like suggest some sort of commonality between like Naruto and the fourth Hokage, where like, oh, maybe that guy had to like overcome some stuff of his own too, and like, you know, overcome some limitations of his own too. But like I think by the time we learn anything more about that guy, he's actually just like good at everything.
He's just like a cool teleporting badass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that like level of thought was put into this. I think it was just like another like dad connection.
Yeah, not for sure.
Like it's very much a like this is a jutsu, this is an ability, this is a big attack that we can like give Naruto, and it's very like befitting of Naruto as a guy because it's like, you know, spinning and that goes with this whole like spiral theme, and then also it is just like a big raw chakra basic thing that he can do that is a big attack, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I don't really have anything to say about it beyond that. Just like, you know, it being developed by his dad, I think, has a lot more implications than were like considered.
Mm-hmm. Right, and there's like a later like lore reason that like his dad developed it, like it's like backfilled, but in like is certainly not what was being thought about here, because like, you know, later we know like the Rasengan was like created to like imitate like an attack that all of the tailed beasts have.
That's yeah.
And that's like there's no way that was like on this fucking table here.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even know that tailed beasts are a thing yet.
Like, you know, like regardless, you know, the sort of like stakes of like Naruto trying to learn this jutsu fast are like put on the table, both in the sense of like, you know, because we know it took the fourth Hokage 3 years. You know, we want to see Naruto do it fast. You want to see the underdog kid like, you know, pull ahead and like maybe surpass the previous generation or whatever. It's the whole Naruto thing. You know, it's the whole will of fire or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's all things into it, like, hey, I don't have fucking 3 years to learn this shit. Sasuke knows the story now, and like he might be fucking like in a coma at the moment. But he's not going to be in a coma for 3 years while I learn the Rasengan. So, like, I gotta fucking pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, or at least I hope not.
That would be a whole separate problem.
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, point of order, it took the fourth Hokage 3 years to invent the jutsu.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a little bit faster to learn it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Do you have anything else you want to say about this section? Are you ready to move on?
I'm ready to move on.
Okay. Turns out it's way easier to stabilize the chakra needed to pop a water balloon if you use 2 hands. Naruto lays out how he figured out his trick, and Jiraiya shows him the next step, popping an air-filled rubber ball, which is much more difficult. Naruto wants Jiraiya to stick around and help, but Jiraiya says it's important to do this on his own and refuses. Naruto trains until he can barely hold the ball, let alone pop it. In town, Naruto spots a kid and his dad bonding, and gets really wistful about dads. Eventually, Naruto works through the pain and manages to pop a hole in the ball. Jiraiya shows up with the same popsicle as the dad from earlier and congratulates Naruto on his progress.
So, you know, this half of the episode starts off with like Naruto wanting to like show off to Jiraiya that he figured it out. And I love the way he goes about this, because like Jiraiya's fucking asleep, right? And Naruto's just like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna fucking pop a water balloon in his face until he wakes up.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I like that he's like immediately ready to like be all like fucking like self-confident, start gloating about it. You know, he was like deflated for a little bit when it took him a while to get there, but like he's the instant he makes it, he's just fucking back on top of the world. You can't keep the kid down. You gotta root for him.
Yeah, love this kid. Can I just say, I love that Jiraiya doesn't make him do it right.
Yeah, no, that is like definitely a huge thing to Jiraiya's credit here. Is like he sees Naruto has figured out a way to do it, and he's like, yeah, okay, keep fucking going. Like, see how far you can take this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like this whole sequence is like very much like sort of in the tension of like sometimes Jiraiya like feels like a little bit too much like a comedy mean guy, and sometimes he's like trying to be Naruto's dad. But like, you know, the moment where he's like, yeah, okay, this is your style of doing things. Like, I want to encourage that, like help you build on that. It's like genuinely great. I think, you know, I like that. Like when Jiraiya sees Naruto doing it, he's like, oh, I would have never fucking thought of this, because like he just knew how to do it the like quote unquote correct way.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to touch on with this is that like Jiraiya is like like he sees that Naruto's done this, and he has this moment of like being kind of like a shit to be like, it was all because of me, and Naruto's like, no, it was because of this fucking cat, right? And like what Naruto says is that seeing the cat dude also like reminded him of how when Jiraiya like made the balloon pop, like it was clear that the water was going in more than one direction.
Yeah.
I feel like this calls into question some of Jiraiya's like teaching methods here, because I bet that if Jiraiya had just like let Naruto try it for a while and then showed it to him again, like showed him popping the balloon again, like he might have got it way sooner. Like maybe just like a second demonstration after Naruto had been trying for a while would have gone a long way.
Oh, it definitely would have gone a long way. Probably Naruto would have figured it out like the night after they had the hair talk. If instead of the hair talk they had the, all right, I'm going to show you it one more time. Now that you know a little bit more about what you're doing to like look for specific details.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, there's definitely a little refrain throughout these episodes, like driving, like, Naruto, you need to do this on your own. You need to like figure this out on your own. And like, there is like, again, I think there's like some merit to like letting Naruto like get a handle on these basics, and not just have like an exact process to replicate.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
But also, like deliberately, I think there are all of these times where this show sort of winds up shining a light on the fact that like, okay, but he could be doing like, a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or like once Naruto clears the like water balloon phase, he like brings Naruto into like the rubber ball phase, and again it's very much like, okay, figure it out. And as we learn later in the episode, I think there's like some basic things that like Naruto doesn't really have a grasp on that would have made this easier for him.
Mm-hmm.
We'll touch on that a little bit later, but like I finished a sentence in a way that implied I was going to continue speaking about that exact thing, but I didn't actually have anything to say until like later, so I just kind of.
You fucked up so bad.
I know. I know. This episode's going to be unlistenable for everybody.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a short one. They can skip it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's just training.
It's just training. This one's really just filler, it turns out.
No, you can't say that, Gwen! That's not our stance! I've been so careful to not say filler on this podcast.
Yeah, I know. I only say it on purpose.
Like Naruto's like trying really hard to pop the rubber ball. There's this like, Gwen, do you think I can ask you to like edit in some audio from the show on this episode?
Oh, absolutely.
Because while Naruto is like trying to pop the rubber ball, there's this moment where like, we just get like this sort of like shot of like the sky as like various semi-transparent images of Naruto like float across the screen, and it's just like various like Naruto shouts like overlaid over each other while like the music is playing, and the show briefly sounds like a remix of itself.
Yeah, I remember that part. It's a good part.
I just think we should like preserve that for the people who maybe are going to go look it up on their own, because it's beautiful, and like it just completely winded me.
Yeah, I'll drop that in. Sure.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I love you.
Uh-huh. That's not really going anywhere, and Naruto like makes another attempt to like ask Jiraiya to just like stay and like watch over him while he's training. And Jiraiya's just blowing him off, and like Naruto is like, I mean, he's at his limit in a lot of ways, but like right in this moment he's kind of at his limit about like how much he can take from this, because like Naruto definitely wants more than a guy who is going to teach him like a jutsu, right? He has had people like looking after him, right? Like he has had like like Iruka has been there for him, but like also Iruka has like a job or like watching over a bunch of other students at the same time. So like he's only like, even though Naruto's kind of like, Naruto's clearly kind of Iruka's favorite, there's only so much that can do, and like Kakashi is there, but also Kakashi has trained Naruto like basically one time, and like went off into the fucking mountains with Sasuke for a month, and that feels like pretty bad. So like he's definitely really hoping that he can maybe like make up for last time and have like a little bit of a father figure here with Jiraiya, and partly Jiraiya is just kind of an asshole, and partly it feels like maybe Jiraiya isn't like really ready for that right now. Like Jiraiya isn't ready to like go all that distance. Like he'll like make some gestures toward it, but he's not like ready to step all the way into that.
Yeah, and that's. I think Jiraiya has a lot of growing to do. I think he needs to be less of a sex pest.
That's very important.
And so, do you think Jiraiya is actually doing any work? Because like I know we see him with the girls and stuff, but like, Do you think he just starts working next episode, or do you think he's doing a little bit here too?
Yeah, I mean, I would believe that Jiraiya is a person who has like sort of, gotten a handle of the skill of like while he is like, wandering off to like hostess clubs and stuff to be like. So it's sort of like working conversations there to like get a feel of what the mood is around here, to like grab as much information from that sort of thing as he can. But also, I at the same time I feel like hostesses are like maybe not the people that will know about Tsunade. So like he might not be doing no work, but I feel like he is maybe committing himself to work that is pretty unlikely to bear fruit.
Right. He should go to gambling dens.
Yeah, like that seems like it would be the thing to do.
Or loan sharks.
Uh-huh. He knows the kind of people that would have encountered Tsunade, and like we don't see him talk to any of those people until like next episode.
Right. But, I don't know, maybe I want to believe he's trying a little bit.
Yeah, like I don't think I don't think the only thing he's doing is like just like going to these clubs. Like I have to imagine like he's probably also doing other shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I don't know. I have to like I'm giving him like a little bit of the benefit of it out here. Like maybe he doesn't deserve it, but like it's whatever. Like it's one of those things where it's like we get this idea that like Tsunade's like really hard to find because she keeps changing her appearance, but also she doesn't do that in the show that we see.
Yeah.
She just kind of has the one look, and as soon as we see Dry like ask like this is more about next episode, but like as soon as we see Dry like asking around with the photo of Tsunade, he immediately sees somebody go like, oh yeah, I saw this woman. So like it's they're not really doing the work to make it seem like it would be a hard thing to find her.
Yeah, no, they really aren't. But also like I can also see it being the case where Jiraiya like knows Naruto needs to like do this training or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And has just kind of just like set a time limit for himself where he's just like, all right, I'm not going to worry too much about it until Naruto gets to this point. And then if we need to change location, we can change location without it necessarily interfering with Naruto's progress.
It's like maybe he like knows enough to know that Tsunade is here, and he like knows enough to know that he'll be able to tell if she gets like chased out of town on gambling debts. But it's like maybe he's just kind of biding his time now. We don't know.
Yeah. But, Naruto's training.
Naruto's like also like going around town to like pick up dinner for Jiraiya sometimes. We get that scene you mentioned in the summary about how he sees like a dad sharing a popsicle with his kid, and it's just the most like on the nose like Naruto wants like the like affection of a father figure who will like share a treat with him, but also like the sort of stern like diligence to be like, okay, you shouldn't have too much treat or else you'll ruin your dinner. It's like it's very if you had picked up that Naruto wanted a dad, this is the moment where like, hey, Naruto really wants a dad. Yeah, and like around this time, like I think there's also a scene where like we see Jiraiya like watching Naruto from behind a tree, and he'd be like, Naruto, I would help you more if I could, but you have to figure this out like on your own, which is like I get that it's probably supposed to be like here's like a like fucking masculine fatherly distance or whatever, but like really it just kind of raises cold.
Yeah, like sure, dude, I'm like positive you think that.
Yeah, and like the thing that gets me is like when Naruto finally makes progress here, the way he does it is like what we basically learn is that he doesn't really have a great sense of like how to know how much chakra he's using. And he only gets a hold of it by being like, oh, it hurts when I use chakra now because of like how long I've just been like doing this training. And so if it hurts a lot, I'm probably using a lot of chakra. Which again, I feel like, I guess I don't know how you would go about teaching this sort of thing, but it's also, again, one of those things where it feels like maybe you should have checked if the kid knew how to do this, like before like leaving him on his own for a long time. Because it seems kind of fundamental.
Yeah, that is something that was called out before when we got the like wasted chakra effort talk from who was it, Iruka?
I think it was Ebisu.
Ebisu, right. It was because it was during the water walking, right? Mm-hmm. Where like that is the thing that Naruto fucks up with. Is just like he always just goes hog. But I guess.
But he also needs to be like going harder on this one.
Yeah,
it's. I don't know.
Well, okay, so like chakra flow is like water pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And because Naruto has such a big chakra, he only needs to open the faucet a little bit, and a lot comes out. And so that's like, he's used to only opening it a little bit. But like, if he wants to go hard, he can, it's the first time he's ever had to go hard.
Okay. Sure.
That's what I made up just now. It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not even trying to be like, there's like a huge plot hole thing here, right? Like, I don't fucking care about that.
Yeah, who fucking cares?
I just think it's like a thing where it's like, again, the really hands-off training feels like it falls short when you have these repeated evidence of the fact, like it feels like it would be important to like make sure he understands the basics on a level like where he can pick up on these things before he is like literally like causing himself pain.
Yeah, right. Like, I just don't get what is gained by having Naruto like learn this thing through like a great effort and like harm to his body that is like something that is supposed to be like understood on like a basic level for like basic preschool baby ninjas. Because just because like he wasn't taught very well in school.
But he does pop the ball a little bit, so like he gets there in spite of whatever problems there might be with teaching methods.
Yeah, and Jiraiya stole that guy's popsicle.
Jiraiya is there to complete the fucking symbolic display of like fatherhood, and they both like just sort of like bite down to the popsicle, like leave it in their mouths as they smile like fucking freaks.
How do you do that? I would die.
Yeah, I mean you don't have that shinobi training. You don't have that like. I mean, I guess you do, right? That's the fiction.
Yeah, of course I do. Come on.
Okay, you're right. I guess it's just harder for Hidden Sand Shinobi because it's I don't know where to go with this. Never mind. Forget this bit. Because it's hotter over there, but this doesn't fucking make any sense.
Yeah, you think that we'd have popsicles more often?
Yeah, no, I get it. It was poorly conceived. I'm sorry.
We have freezers.
But that's that episode for me anyway. Anything else you want to touch on?
No, I think we're there. Let's move on to the next one, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Episode 88, Focal Point, The Mark of the Leaf. Orochimaru is having a rough time with his arms and kills a guy for trying to give him his medicine. Kabuto pops in to have a chat about Tsunade's whereabouts. Jiraiya puts a little swirl in Naruto's hand and gives him a little demonstration to show how it'll help him focus on one point. Naruto keeps training, and we see Jiraiya actually gathering intel, while Orochimaru and Kabuto set out to look for Tsunade. Naruto wants Jiraiya to stick around a little and play catch, but Jiraiya brushes him off after catching a ball in his teeth. Jiraiya learns where Tsunade is while Orochimaru and Kabuto arrive in Tensaku Town. Tsunade wins at a slot machine, so she knows something's up. Orochimaru's in a lot of fucking pain.
Yeah, he's doing pretty bad. He's like killing guys or telling them to take his meds, It's maybe not the most productive thing to do, but like I don't know. It's fine, I suppose.
I should start doing that on my Twitch streams.
You should start doing that in your Twitch streams. I mean, I guess I don't know for sure, but I feel like killing your viewers is kind of frowned on.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably not allowed. There's probably something about that in the Twitch terms of service.
I guess they don't have to find out, but like it still feels like it's kind of a loss for everybody.
Mm-hmm. It's not very conducive to having a high viewer count.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Orochimaru is like fucking sick of this. Like he has been like out of commission for like a few weeks now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's fucking too much. Like this is probably like the longest amount of time he's like not been able to just fucking do whatever he wants, and it's not treating him very well. He is extremely sick of the process of like being treated. He just wants that shit to be over with.
Yeah.
Just wants to press the button that makes him healthy, and he's like, actually, Tsunade's out there. Maybe she's the button that makes me healthy.
Yeah, let's go press her.
Yeah, basically. I was like the Kabuto was like basically just like waiting outside the room, for, like when Orochimaru like kills that guy. Like I imagine this is just standard practice for him. He just sends somebody in there when it's time for Orochimaru to take his bed. It's like, okay, this is the reminder guy, and once that's out of his system, I'm gonna go in and talk. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, honestly, good move.
Yeah, it's smart.
Oh, be right back. I have to go give Orochimaru his meds.
Wow. But be careful.
No, it's okay. I'll just send my puppet in.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart.
No, I'm just teasing. I don't actually work for those guys anymore. We're out here doing our own thing now.
Yeah, we're freelance now.
I'm getting the Akatsuki robes made. I put a little strike through on my headband.
Uh-huh.
You already had yours.
I'm sewing the Akatsuki robes back in her hotel room.
So fucking cool.
They're very cool. We're gonna look so badass.
We are. Oh my god. I need to make a new cover with us in the Akatsuki robe.
I mean, if you're up for it, like, you don't gotta like go all out, but like, it'd be fun.
It would be fun.
Back with Jiraiya and Naruto, the training's progressing. Naruto has like made a little more progress with popping the balls. So Jiraiya's like, hey, all right, I'm gonna be real with you, Naruto. You got yelled at in school a lot, right? Like, I love that. That's how he leads into like explaining shit. He's like, hey, your teachers fucking hated your ass, right?
Yeah. Naruto's just like, whoa, yeah, how'd you know? No, he actually takes great offense. He's like, shut up, what do you mean?
No. I think you'll find that my teacher is actually like more of my dad than you are, so fucking try to keep up.
Yeah.
Why you play catch with me sometimes? That's a fucking dad thing. I don't actually have any truth like the progression of this being like part of the teaching plan. Like it makes sense that you want to get you want to get like the basics down before you like work on like honing and focusing down to like a smaller point. That makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's fine. That's right. That just like kind of progresses from there normally. We have like a montage where like between like Orochimaru and Kabuto like walking towards the Tanzaku town. We have like Dry gathering information. We have like Naruto obviously like training in the woods and like making a horrible fucking mess. He's like littering so badly. He's not cleaning up those rubber balls at all.
No, absolutely not.
But the thing I want to touch on is that like it kind of seems like Kabuto and Orochimaru just sort of like set out and like walk in a straight line towards the Tanzaku town until they get there, right? Like
Yeah.
Like they haven't like packed like any shit. They don't have any like bedding or anything. They're just kind of going. Occasionally Orochimaru like gets really annoyed in the middle that like falls onto his knees and like kicks a tree down and then like gets back up and keeps moving.
God, I love Orochimaru's fits.
It's great. Kabuto just like steps back a little bit. He's like, okay, all right, I'm gonna ride this out. I am farther away from him than some of those trees are, so that's gonna be good enough for me.
Yeah, and also like I don't know. I feel like Orochimaru like knows not to fuck up Kabuto.
Yeah, that guy's like at least for now like useful enough that he's not really on the chopping block in the same way.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they just kind of
not jumping through trees or anything. They're just taking their time.
Yeah,
walking on the ground.
Having a nice little stroll. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, but if last episode wasn't like obvious, like this episode has like a "I want you to be my dad" like air horn, like neon sign right in frame.
Yeah.
Where Naruto's just like, "Hey, you think you could stick around and maybe play catch a little bit?"
Yeah, just to give a catch, like that's normal, right? That's normal to ask. Please.
Oh my god. I'll play catch with this kid. God damn.
We can't take the Akatsuki ropes for that, though. He'll be too freaked out. He's on high alert about that shit right now,
God, the Akatsuki are fucking stupid.
Yeah?
All they had to do was send someone who would be like, "Hey kid, want to play some catch? You look pretty lonely."
Yeah, I know a great jutsu they could teach you, and also, I'll like hang out.
Yeah. Hey, I'm something of a shinobi myself. Okay, which Akatsuki would be the best Naruto's dad?
Oh shit. Oh no. Like Itachi can't be it. Like he's
too young, and also Sasuke wants to murder him really bad.
Yeah, right. Like there's too much room for error there. Probably not Kasame. He's just kind of like a weirdo, right? Like he's way too quick to like talking about like cutting off Naruto's limbs. I'm just going down the list. Would any of them be good? Because like Hidan wouldn't, Kuzu wouldn't, the Deidara and Sasori wouldn't fucking care. Zetsu isn't the character.
Maybe the like most dad looking one of Pain's bodies.
Yeah, that might just be it. Honestly, it would be so easy.
Yeah.
I guess that's the real weakness of the Akatsuki is that they just don't have any like dad aspected people to like try and try and take advantage of that weakness. But I mean, I can't help them there.
Yeah, I could be a dad.
Yeah.
Should have recruited me.
Okay. Like, I don't feel like I could pull it off, but like I'd believe that from you. Sometimes, like, maybe Naruto should have a lesbian dad.
Absolutely, Naruto should have a lesbian dad. Are you kidding me?
So meanwhile, Tsunade is like winning big at a slot machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like she, like I said, she's immediately like, some shit's up, right? I love so much that Tsunade is like, oh, this is a bad sign, but she's also like, okay, I'm gonna like keep sitting here and like winning some more though, while I can ride this out.
Yeah, like, this is moving like a little bit into the next segment, but like, I love that Tsunade is just like, something's wrong here, I should be doing something. Plays the slot one more time.
Yeah.
Right, just like, you love to see it. It's just like a very confident, like, well, anything bad that happens, I'm probably fine. I'm one of the Sanin.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
Well, you want to move on? You want to see the worst that could happen?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. Tsunade keeps winning, and Kabuto talks to Orochimaru about how she was the one to propose the practice of having a medical expert in every ninja squad. Naruto's losing steam, still only able to put a hole in a ball and not pop it entirely. He's having trouble concentrating. Tsunade has a bad feeling and wants to skip town early. Naruto remembers being a troublemaker at the academy with Choji, Shikamaru, and Kiba. One day after school, Iruka pulls them aside and puts leaves on their heads, telling them it's something the founders of the village used to do to help concentrate. Naruto gives it one final go. The shockwave sends him sliding along the ground, seriously impressing Jiraiya. Tsunade gets a bad feeling before watching Tenzaku Castle explode. The dust clears to reveal Orochimaru atop a giant snake.
We get Kabuto and Orochimaru talking about how, like you said, Tsunade proposed the idea of having like a medical ninjutsu specialist on each squad. And I really have to wonder, like, is this one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, like, maybe in history, like, this was actually like a fairly recent thing, like, even if it seems obvious looking back at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is like sort of a historical parallel to, like, okay, maybe it took a while for, like, them actually having, like, medics nearby in combat situations, or is it just, like, a weird thing that they introduced to be like, here's something good that Tsunade did without, like, really thinking through the implications of that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Because it does sound kind of obvious to just, like, yeah, you should have someone to, like, treat the injured in like, combat situations.
Yeah, especially if, like, what that amounts to is, like, having somebody who can do, like, healing magic. Like, who can just shoot, like, healing energies out of their hands. It doesn't, like... I mean, there's, like, a training investment there, but it's not like it requires a lot of, like, difficult to transport equipment or anything. Right.
Tsunade discovered and proposed the healer tank DPS trifecta.
Oh my god. Like, it seems like the more obvious thing would be like, oh, maybe she like she refined medical ninjutsu or something, or like maybe she made some like developments in that area.
The stronger version for this, in my opinion, is that she like developed medical ninjutsu to where it would be like effective to have in the field, right? Mm-hmm. Because like we have seen ninja stuff that is like big and requires like complicated like arrays and like scrolls and shit, right? Mm-hmm. So I can definitely see the case where it's just like, yeah, medical shit just used to be like hard to do in the field because it required like, equipment and complicated arrays and stuff, and just like Tsunade like was like a medical genius or whatever, and like found easy ways to like minimize that.
Yeah, and it could be cool if like from there she like wound up being like a traveling like sage person who like wound up like spreading this knowledge to like other villages, even because she just wanted that information to be like available. That could be like super cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
But like when it's just like, oh yeah, she thought of like having medics as opposed to like letting people die when they got injured in the field, it winds up being a thing where like, if that's like what makes her one of the Sannin, then like her thing that makes her a Sannin isn't actually like a cool like strong thing about her necessarily, right?
Right. And also, can I talk about like the context for this conversation of like Orochimaru and Kabuto like talking about it?
Yeah.
Because This is actually something that I like really appreciate a lot about Orochimaru and Kabuto's relationship as it exists right now, where Kabuto is just like Orochimaru's like autistic son.
Please elaborate.
Well, I mean, Kabuto to me, like this scene really read to me as Kabuto just kind of like gushing about his special interests, and Orochimaru just being like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
God.
like because like Orochimaru knows.
Right. Like, you know Tsunade.
Yeah, like they grew up together. Like they have like a very personal relationship, you know, and like on some level, like Kabuto like knows that about Orochimaru and Tsunade, right? So it's not like he wouldn't know, but like when you're talking about things, like it's not always necessarily because you don't think the other person knows, right? Like you just want to talk about it.
Yeah, sure. And I also think it's kind of fun that, like, even though Kabuto is, like, going there to make Tsunade's life worse, he's still, like, I'm like, kind of excited to meet her, you know? She was very, like, you know, she was, like, she had a big impact on him.
Right. God, Kabuto's so sweet.
Orochimaru is, like, way less, like, you know, he's way less impressed by Tsunade, because he's basically just like, yeah, I mean, fucking anybody could have figured that out if they, like, had a lot of people they know died.
Yeah, I was gonna make one eventually.
I would have figured that out if I was, like, weak enough to let people I cared about died, and also weak enough to care about people.
No, he was gonna make someone.
Oh, okay.
He was gonna create someone whose friends died.
Oh,
Enough to, yeah.
No,
yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, so Tsunade like has this bad feeling and is just like, okay, we gotta hurry up and get out of here. But Shizune, we haven't talked about Shizune like at all, basically yet.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't been on screen a ton. You know, she's like, up until this point, like she's mostly been like kind of worried as like Tsunade does a lot of gambling shit.
Yeah,
And this is like the first time where she like does like anything more than that.
I don't think we've even had her name on screen yet.
You know, here she is like, you know, Tsunade's like, okay, shit, we gotta leave, and she's like, wait, but like we're at like a big like tourist place. We gotta have fun. We gotta like hang out.
Yeah.
She's just like kind of fucking living it up, maybe, you know. She's maybe got like not so bad a life. She's like traveling around with like a hot older woman. She's like just fucking partying and shit.
I didn't even think about it like that. What the fuck is wrong with me? God damn. She's got like an awesome pet pig.
Yeah, she's like not really concerned about like any like she's not really like attuned to like problems. She's just kind of like maybe she's having like a pretty good life, honestly. You know, they gotta like run from like that collector sometimes, but you know that's just
yeah, but
that's
like
just part of it. She's probably made her peace with that by now.
yeah, Tsunade's a fucking Sani. Like, what are the debt collectors like gonna do actually?
Yeah, like what are they gonna fucking become paste?
Yeah, and like to Tsunade's credit, they do stay in town and they do go sightseeing. It's so good.
Yeah, she's like, okay, well, fine. We'll go look at stuff.
Yeah, we'll go look at stuff.
I'm not gonna do more than that. We'll look at stuff.
We'll look at stuff.
Meanwhile, Naruto's like thinking back to his days at the academy, right? And I really like Naruto and Choji and Shikamaru and Kiba being like scamps together as kids. I like them just getting into trouble together.
Yeah, we talked about this like becoming the case later, back when Kiba was being like a bully at Naruto. Right, where like that's like not really the vibe that like they had moving forward.
And I think like there's room to like fill in this idea of like, okay, yeah, like they were friends with their kids and like maybe they got like a little bit older and they got like a little more conscious about their greed, which like Naruto was somebody they felt they had to stay away from, and like maybe they got kind of sick of like Naruto's like antics, and like like they felt like he wasn't actually like growing past that as they got a little older, right? Like there's room to like imagine something compelling there, even if like, you know, ultimately it's not really like something that gets like delved into. I do think it's another thing where it's like it is kind of weird that like Naruto graduates at the same time as all of these other kids that are like his age, despite being the guy who fails a lot, right? We've talked about this before. Like it's one of those things that, like I keep like that keeps like circling back around to, because like if these are Naruto's peers that like, you know, used to be on the same level as him and like later felt like they were too good for him, like you all still like must have like either like failed the like exams to like graduate the academy as many times as him, or like just didn't try. I don't really know what the situation there is.
Right. And it's like we also like don't we don't get like a good idea of like the structure of like ninja school. As far as like when you start and like when you're supposed to graduate and stuff.
Mm-hmm. You start like at like at least as young as 7.
Right.
Right, because Sasuke was in the academy at 7 and can graduate as young as 8 at least. I think like maybe even younger. Like didn't Kakashi become like a Chunin when he was like 6 or something?
Yeah, something ridiculous like that. So like, is it just kind of the thing where like when you're ready to go to ninja school, you go to ninja school, and when you're ready to graduate, you graduate?
Yeah, it's not clear. I think there's like really like a missed beat for like it would be cool if like a lot of Naruto's peers wound up like graduating before him, and then like when he like goes to the Chunin exams like at the same time as them, like what the hell? Why are you here? You've been getting for like months. We've been getting for like years.
Right. Yeah. I think it would be pretty fun. Right, but then like I don't know. It would be really funny if Naruto was in class with Konohamaru, and that's how they knew each other.
Oh my god. Because there's like no implication that like Konohamaru or like anybody in his class are like about to graduate, right? Because I don't know, I'm like thinking about this too much, and like it does not hold up under the weight of thinking about it at all.
Right.
Maybe we should stop like falling down this hole and like get back to the scene we were talking about. It's just like a fucking like it's like a black hole. It's so easy to like get pulled into thinking about.
Well, I just want to say this one last thing. Like, I think for this to make sense, it would have to be the case where Naruto just like started school way earlier than everybody else, right? Like maybe because of his like orphan situation. Maybe he was just like,
we're like putting you in school earlier, so like you can have people like watching over you. Like a lot of the other kids are like maybe learning the basics at home for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And like Sasuke starts early because like he wants to graduate early, like his brother did.
Yeah.
But then like he like winds up graduating late because like maybe he has to take a bunch of time off school because his family all died.
Yeah, because his whole family was murdered.
Yeah, he needs to take a few years off to process that.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is like room for drama that like could exist if they like address this more directly instead of made it be this like weird, like glaring series of inconsistencies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like regardless, the scene is fun. Like I love them just like they're all like blowing off class together. They're all like hiding behind their school books, like eating lunch together. It's just cute. I love a bunch of scamps. I really like when like Irika's trying to lecture them about like the leaf symbol actually represents like trying to like pay attention and concentrate. I love that all of the kids are like, regardless of whether or not this is true, they're all just like, Irika, that sounds like fucking bullshit. Like cool ninja headbands aren't about like how you should be like a good student at like elementary school. And they just like run off. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and they're so fucking right.
Yeah, like there's no way it is directly about like you should be a fucking good student at elementary school. Like obviously Irika's trying to like fucking spin it to. I love that Irika just can't make that lie work to like these 4 rowdy kids.
It's hard to lie to children. Genuinely. That's why I only ever tell the truth to kids.
That's admirable.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like hanging out, I'm being someone's lesbian dad. I'm like, it's kind of fucked up that you're a child soldier, right? They're like, what? And I'm like, what are you gonna do?
The Kakashi maneuver.
Kakashi wishes he could just like fucking talk to kids like I do.
Yeah. I mostly just meant the what are you gonna do part, but
yeah, fair. Hey, if you think you're getting traumatized, come talk to me about it, okay?
You probably are also. Yeah, like statistically. On account of how you went to war elementary school and then like went into like active battle at the age of 12, like it's probably happening to you.
Yeah. Hey, talk it through with me before you like vow to kill someone, cool?
Yeah, like either I could handle, or I could just be like, hey, maybe it's not such a big deal. Maybe you got better stuff to dedicate your life to. Like one of those two will happen. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Hey, if you notice your like self-worth is tied to how efficient you are at like murder, maybe try to unpack that with me.
Yeah, I don't know, like maybe we'll just go get ice cream together instead, and you can enjoy ice cream.
Yeah. Also, it's okay if you're gay.
That's a very important one. Fucking here's the Sarutobi is gonna tell them that.
Yeah, I tell a child it's okay to be gay, and here's and Sarutobi fucking rolls over in his grave. So the kids, huh?
The kids. What about the kids?
They're being rowdy in school or whatever. What were we talking about?
I feel like we basically covered it, right? You know, Yoriki gives them that lecture about like here's like how you put the leaf in your forehead and try to focus, and like that seems dumb. No, we're gonna go have fun.
Yeah.
You know, Naruto like thinks back about that. You know, he like smudges the spiral in his hand to be like leaf shape. He's just kind of like maybe there is something that concentrating thing that Yoriki tries to tell me about years ago, and he finally like bursts the ball and just goes fucking flying.
So fucking good. You love a strong boy.
Yeah, I love that like the explosion of this ball as he goes flying is like cross cut with the like explosion of the castle elsewhere.
Yeah, it's like shit. Did Naruto do that?
It's like, oh my god. But like the force of the charge explodes this ball is like it's interesting because like obviously with the way that like Jiraiya does it, right, where he's like when he's popping the ball it's like basically nothing, and like when he did the Rasengan earlier, it's like basically nothing. But like it definitely feels like in this arc as like Naruto is building up to do the Rasengan, like the basic Rasengan is this huge destructive thing, and like I feel like it kind of gradually gets like scaled back to like I guess level that Jiraiya does it so that Naruto can make new Rasengans to be the huge destructive thing.
Yeah. But also, like, I do just, like the idea of Naruto being a baby snake.
A baby snake?
So, when a grown-up snake bites you, it's actually safer than when a baby snake bites you.
Okay.
Because a grown-up snake knows that it's not going to fucking eat you. It doesn't need to, like, dump all of its venom in you or whatever.
Oh, and baby snake will just go all, like, just fucking dump the whole thing in there?
Uh-huh.
Damn. You gotta watch out for baby snakes.
You gotta watch out for baby snakes.
Our podcast is really practical this week. You're learning a lot.
Yeah. Like what?
Watch out for baby snakes. That's the closest thing to practical advice we've had on this podcast, I think.
Right.
But,
here's when Sarutobi gave me the same advice one day.
God damn it.
Though I think snake was a euphemism for something.
It's hard to say.
Hard to say.
Who knows what he meant? We touched on the castle exploding. I love that. Like, there's no reason that Orochimaru needed to do this. Like, he didn't need to explode the, like, most famous, tourist attraction in the town to, like, show up and, like, approach Tsunade.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think of Orochimaru just, like, showed up and was like, hey, what's up, Tsunade? My arms, like, are fucked. Can you help me?
Mm-hmm.
She would have been like, no. And then Orochimaru would have been like, damn, I guess Sarutobi really got one over on me. And then Tsunade would be like, well, if he did it, I hate that guy. So I'll fix it, sure. Just to fucking wipe out the last thing he ever fucking did. Hell yeah.
Right. Like, most of what I'm saying is, I feel like there are ways to, like, show up and menace Tsunade that aren't, like, so ostentatious, and I love that he just went for, like, hey, what's the thing that people will be, like, most freaked out if it exploded in this town? Kabuto, do you know this? Like, of course Kabuto knows this. He was, like, pulled out his cards and be like, oh yeah, I know about the Tanzaku town. There's this castle. He's like, good. I'm going to replace it with a snake.
Hey, Kabuto, we're gonna do Snake 911 to Tanzaku Town.
It is! This is the second 9/11 Orochimaru is done in like 20 episodes.
Fuck, this guy is so cool.
I love Orochimaru so much.
Kabuto shows up with the second snake.
Oh god. I don't think we have anything better to say about this episode than that, honestly.
Yeah, no, hey everybody.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening.
What are we watching next week?
Next week we're back to 3 episodes for the rest of the arc. We're watching episodes 89, 90, and 91 of Naruto.
Alright, Poggies.
It's Poggies for sure.
Hey, if you're excited for more, you can check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/Konoha Crush. That's all one word, Konoha Crush. There, you can get episodes up to a week early for just $3. Also, we have a sideshow. Narukai Uzumaki, where we talk about, like, isekai and isekai adjacent stuff. We just did our third episode that was ReZero. That should be up by the time this is out. And this next month we're doing .hack sign. So, like, look forward to that. It's going to be a good one. Speaking of Patreon, thanks to our Jonin tier patrons, Maple and Izzy, future Jinchuriki of the Six-Tailed Beasts. Any images we talk about can be found on our Twitter, at Konoha Crush, all one word, Konoha Crush. We have a Tumblr too, that is konohacrushcast.tumblr.com. So, if you're a Tumblr person, we post stuff there too.
I think I forgot to put the latest episode on there, but I bet that'll be up there on there by the time this one goes out, hopefully.
Yeah, that's fine. We're still getting into the groove to post it on Tumblr too, but it's cool. Maybe if we had any followers, that wouldn't be such an issue. I stream. I stream on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Guinevere Teef. GuinevereTeef. Guinevere Teef. And I stream art. I stream comic stuff. I'm doing more comic stuff this week. So, come check me out if you want. It's a good time.
It's absolutely a great time.
Yeah, way raunchier than on the podcast. I'm horrible on Twitch. You should come listen.
Are you horrible on Twitch?
Yeah, I'm awful on Twitch. You should come listen. It's very scandalous. It's very
It's deeply sexual.
Yeah. So anything else needs to be mentioned?
I can't fucking think of anything. I don't do shit that isn't this podcast and our other podcast and show up on your Twitch streams. So
yeah, I mean, I think I got it all covered. Hey, thanks for listening. And remember, there's no such thing as filler.